Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Apologies for getting this review up a little bit late. Had some real life things go down. Been a really hectic month so far. But today, we're taking a look at the Dunkerque, as some people want to call it. I just prefer to call it the Dunk, because this thing, in my opinion, is a pretty good ship. Slam dunk, essentially. Um, this is the first ship I ever bought the big package for. I didn't ever buy a big package of any of the other premiums that I have. I always just bought the basic ship. But I didn't have very good French commanders. So I decided to get the bigger package, and I got very lucky with my big package. Not ships, commanders. I got pretty much I got both of the battleship commanders, which are Robert Jajard and Louis de Fernet, and then the commander, cruiser commander, I believe is who this is. Looks like this might be the cruiser commander. Let me double check. Yeah. I got the cruiser, a good cruiser commander, and the two battleship commanders out of it. So I was very pleased with that. But the Dunkirk. First thing you'll notice, everything's up front. Business is in the front, not in the rear. Okay, it's very easy to bow tank with this ship. Armor layout. There's 16 millimeters of plating on the outside. The belt armor and citadel protection is only 225 millimeters, however. She's fast. So when I say that she's also sluggish, it's not because she's slow in a straight line. Her handling is a little slow. The fast speed is very good. I once got all the way back to a cap to defend it. I got all the way back to the base to defend it relatively quickly with her. She's got very fast turning turrets, 5 degrees per second. Rate of fire is 28-second reload. I will say I have mine brought down to 26.1 with commander statistics, commander boosts. So that rotation of 5 degrees per second leads to a 180 degree turn time of 31.3 seconds. That's a little boosted as well. It's probably about 36 stock. The muzzle velocity on the Dunkirk is really nice. So while she's got smaller 330s, which are only 13 inch technically, for those people that like to be technical, it's a 12.99 inch gun. But we're going to round up to 13. That's a 13 inch gun. The AP has a muzzle velocity of 870 meters per second, I believe is how that would be calculated. Yep, and then 885 meters per second for the HE. High muzzle velocity can make up for a smaller gun because it would allow the shell to be much faster, which would keep its penetration values at range. She's got good range on her guns. I got mine up to 17 kilometers. The secondaries aren't really fantastic. Pulling from PC, technically it should be 5 kilometers, but in here they're only 4.2. The cons of the ship: can't fire to the rear. Can't fire main battery guns to the rear. You got your secondaries back here. They're not all that. Alright. Basically, And the biggest thing with these secondaries is do not do a secondary build on the Dunkirk. Do not. Just don't. There's only 6 per side, 6 guns, and that's 5 seconds. But the firing angles of these quad turrets back here are really, really bad. They are horrid. Okay? Um, the turrets in the front, very vulnerable to get knocked out. Um, in real life, her turrets were compartmentalized, meaning that if one turret took a hit, excuse me, 2 guns, let's say for example on the left side, those 2 guns would be knocked out. That way you only lose a quarter instead of half. It's not possible in this game to model that correctly with the armor modeling that are in the game, so you cannot compartmentalize the 2 guns. They've got good basic compartmentalization in the game, but they cannot model that correctly in the turrets, in the barbettes for the turrets. So if you lose a turret, you lose half. If you lose both, you got no way to shoot to the front. Might as well ram them. Put your man pants on and give them a little boop on the nose. She's got low AP damage. I say low. It's only about 1,000 behind some of the other tier 5 battleships, not including the Mutsu. 9,700 damage AP shell, 4,800 HE shell. Okay, 35% fire chance. I'm telling you right now, you're in the Dunkirk, they're angled at you. If they're a heavily armored target and they're angled, switch to HE, burn them to the ground. Okay, that's the big kicker with the Dunkirk. I've seen a lot of people. I've played some Dunkirks. I've played against some of them, and they just think AP, 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 AP. No, you got to know when to switch. When that target, when that Bayern, when that KGV, when they switch their focus from somebody else to where they're pointing their bow at you and giving you an angle, burn them to the ground with the HE. You got a 35% fire chance. Okay. AP is good. Like I said, that muzzle velocity is really, really nice. I like it a lot. Okay. Survivability, she's got 50,500 HP. Torpedo damage reduction is 1/4, which is 25%. Armor 16 to 340. That 340 is going to be the turret barbettes. This was the first ship that Wargaming actually released an armor layout screenshot. Some people are misled thinking it only has 16 millimeters of armor. It does not. Her belt armor is 225, but they don't have I guess they didn't put the capability of where they could show the different layers of the armor throughout the ship in the little armor layout that they sent when they released it. The ship was coming out. Belt armor is 225. It's not a lot, but it's not a little either. Bow tanking is a very good possibility. As you saw in my video that I uploaded, I was bow tanking and butt tanking because the butt is, pretty well angled. Plus, I was keeping the angle there to try mitigate any damage that I was taking by creating auto bounce angles and such. But there's a lot of flat places to get hit. I don't like this camouflage. If you're facing a Dunkirk, aim your shots to go into where that camouflage is. Okay. To zoom all the way out here, where that dark spot on the hull is, just shoot there. Basically tells you exactly where to aim. She does sit a little high in the water, but it doesn't affect it. She's quite a nice little ship, in my opinion. AA defense, kind of mediocre at this point. It doesn't really matter. I'll say that every time until we get carriers, which are a long time away. Maneuverability. I got my speed up to 30.4. Turning circle is 730. That's wide. That's a lot of turning circle. Okay. Now that rudder shift of 14 seconds. You will feel it when you originally start your turn. However, once you're turning, that rudder is very, very large, I want to say, underneath the water, to where you can, once you're turning, concealment. .14 kilometer detection range. surface. 11.7 air. RGA, which is the guaranteed detectability, is 2 kilometers, and then the detectability while firing in smoke is 12. Don't go in smoke. It's not worth it. Best option is to hide behind it. Most battleships get a penalty when firing from smoke unless they are German, i.e. I'm looking at you, Scharnhorst, Dingeneisenau. Dunkirk, to summarize, in my opinion, she's a very good ship. I'm going to go along with the Mutsu here and say that she's a skilled ship. You've got to be skilled enough to handle her because she's got quirks. If you let a ship get around you, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Most secondaries on other ships at Tier 5, if you've grinded through battleship lines, most secondaries at this angle right here can fire, right? No, not here. Now you can fire those 2 main batteries at this angle, yes. Which means, theoretically, you'll have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 guns shooting with 1 reloading every 5 seconds, which will be this lone secondary turret over here on the side right here. That lone turret right there will be firing every 5 seconds. These back turrets back here, no, they don't fire. They basically got to be at this point here. Okay? Now, what I will say that I did notice in one of my games, I did not get a clip of it, even though they are mounted in the front, they do have a very good firing angle to the rear. They're not incredible, and this is probably a little exaggeration, but due to the fact that this number 2 turret right here is mounted pretty far forward from the bridge area, you can get some really good firing angles off to the sides of the ship with that main battery. So even though it's in the front, if you get outflanked, you can defend yourself, but it's very unlikely. If they get on your side, you're going to get hit with the 225 belt armor, citadel protection. You're going to get slapped a lot. But she does have a nice little chunk of health compared to some of the other tier 5s. Let's see, what does the Normandy have? Normandy, this is not fully upgraded. Let's see. Fully upgraded, she'll have 46, 370. Let's go down here to the Bayern. Bayern has 51, 6. Warspite has 53, 8. Mutsu, as we all know, has the largest health pool of the Tier 5 battleships, if I can remember correctly. 58, 4. Let's see here. Go into the other ships. Got the new mechs. 48, 2 stock. With 53, 2. Fully upgraded. Got the Fuso, which fully upgraded. We'll have 57, 1. So Japanese battleships appear to be king of tier 5 on health pool. The QE, 55, 3. Matter of fact, while I'm here, I'm just curious. Let me check something out real fast. She's got a nice little slab of health. She's the smallest of the tier 5s, except for the Normandy. Okay, but the trade-off there is you get that at really nice speed. Okay, you get, 30 knots, fastest at tier 5. Okay, DPM is low. Don't think you're going to be out here pumping shells out all the time, repeatedly firing. You've got a 26-second reload, even though they're 13 inchers. They would take a little bit to reload. Now, the commander that I recommend you run, do not run the Brawler commander. I know I've got some friends out there that they run secondary builds on everything. Don't. On the Dunkirk. Don't. Trust me. The good thing about the commander that I got was, like I said, I got both of the battleship commanders. This one is the tank build, quote unquote, the accuracy build, okay? I've got Madden as my inspiration just to increase the reload and the turret traverse a little bit more. But I am running Flammable Cannoneer, give you some range boost and a precision boost. I'm doing Crisscross because I do not want to lose the speed, because that's a really, really nice perk to have on the Dunkerque. And then Megalomania, okay? This is the special trait of French ships, French battleships at least. Yeah, I'll lose a little bit of health. However, it has a very nice perk combination here, okay? I drop my reload time of my main battery, and I also drop off of detectability after firing my main guns faster, okay? That's a very good perk. Okay, this is the perk you want to take. This is on both commanders, whether it's the Brawler or the Sniper commander. You've got that perk on both ships. Take it. Reload time, or excuse me, the marksmanship. Yeah, if you really want to go accuracy build, you can. I personally, I want to keep the rudder shift, even though I kind of stay back in the map. I want to keep the rudder shift. I like it, especially when I'm trying to run somebody down or I'm trying to kite away from somebody. Reload is fast enough to where you don't need to do on second thought. Reaching out, I just wanted some extra range, so I did that. Emergency Specialist is beneficial, however, I like the extra amount of time that it's on my Damn Con consumable when it's running, because you go from, I think it's 15 seconds per battleship, so you drop that down to 10 or less when you start adding when you add this perk on. Pardon me. And then his base perk is Borer, which is AP shells. Their penetration multiplier is a little bit better. In summary, good ship. Cruiser Hunter, not to the same extent as a Graf Spee or a Scharnhorst, but she will slap a destroyer in the, or excuse me, a cruiser in the face, and it will hurt a lot. Her accuracy without a commander is a little iffy. They're not terrible, but they're not great. I personally can't speak on that without a French commander, without a French battleship commander. I don't know what the bone stock commander, how the dispersion looks. The dispersion is a little random. It's a little more normalized compared to German battleship dispersion. But you do get kind of a shotgun effect sometimes. Your shells kind of, some will go low, some will go on target, some will go in the air and overshoot. You've got some that just go wickety wonky all over the place. But she's not a sniper by any means. She's kind of a good run-of-the-mill ship with a high skill ceiling. Kind of the same thing as the Mutsu. Skilled commanders will show how she's supposed to be played. Potatoes will struggle and say this is a bad ship. The Dunkirk is definitely a slam dunk in my opinion. Should it be in your port? That is up to you. My play style, I have to change it when I play the Dunkirk. I'm a very much in-your-face brawler commander. That's why I love German battleships. Pardon me. I don't like to just sit in the back of the map and snipe. I did when I got my Iowa. Typical Iowa player reversed. Sold it. Got rid of it. So. But, that is my Dunkirk review. Like I said, she's a slam dunk. She's got some pros, some quirks, some cons, for sure. But she's a slam dunk ship. She's not terrible. She's not amazing. She's kind of like a good workhorse ship, in my opinion. But that is all for today, ladies and gentlemen. Might have a replay or two later up later tonight, depending on how good my quality of games is when I play by myself for a little while. But this is Aurora ZX Gaming signing off. Have a wonderful night.